Hello lovely people, and welcome back to your day 2 of the Flow Pilates 30-day challenge. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. For today's class, it's going to be a lower body and abdominal sculpt class. So you will be needing some light ankle weights. If you don't have any, you can move through this without, as well as 2 light dumbbells. An option here is if you don't have 2 light dumbbells, for our standing series, you can just use 1 heavy dumbbell to your chest. All right, so without further ado, I'm gonna meet you down on your mat to warm up through our abs. Nice work. Feet are gonna stay planted here, and we're gonna bring your fingertips to your temples, elbows stay wide. I want you to think about imprinting your lower back down onto your mat, feeling that rib to hip connection. Beautiful. We're gonna start with a deep inhale breath. And as we take that exhale, we're curling our head and chest off your mat, finding your crunch. Nice. Inhale to lower, and exhale as we find that curl. So starting off super simple, taking these first few reps just to settle into that breath pattern, using that strong exhale through your pursed lips to help you find that lift off the mat. Beautiful. All right, give me 2 more and then we're gonna add on. Okay, after this little next one, we're gonna meet at the bottom. If you're up for it, this next time we curl up, can we float both legs to find your tabletop? Lovely work. Inhale as we return. So as we take that leg lift now, team, I want you to just think about drawing those knees so they're over the line of our hips. They're not sneaking in towards your stomach. We're keeping that work through those lower abdominals. Beautiful. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. All right, this next time we take that lift, can you hold? Can you drop that left toe down to the mat? Draws back to our tabletop before we return head and chest. Going again. We curl up. This time right toe touches down. It lifts back up before we lower back down. Beautiful. So as we move through this, it's a good time to check in with our body position. Is that lower back still sucking down onto your mat? You should still have a nice imprinted spine. Making sure your gaze is still looking down to the bottom of our stomach at the top of your crunch. Okay, 1 more like this before we add on that final layer. Final option if you want to take it. This next time we curl up, let's hold. Can you tap your right toe down as we twist over towards the left knee? Beautiful. We return to center and then lower back down the other side. We curl, left toe lowers as we twist to our right, center, and return. Awesome work, team. Keeping those elbows nice and wide in that twist. You're just gonna give me 3 more like this. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Final 2. Seeing if you can clear those shoulder blades up off your mat at the top. Last one. All right, we're all gonna meet at the bottom. Quick moment here if you need to, team. We're all gonna move together. Can we float those legs to tabletop, curling your head and chest? We're just getting to work on that twist and toe tap, staying high. Thinking about lifting and clearing that opposite shoulder blade high off the mat each time we find our twist. Beautiful. Giving me 5 more. 4, nice and slow, team. For 3, 2, last one. We stay high, we return through center. We're just working a double leg extension and draw back in. Nice work. Keeping that chest high. Final push for 4. Here for 3. Nice one. 2. On 1, we extend those legs. Can you reach your arms, holding here, you and your breath for 3, 2, and 1. Hugging those knees into your chest, taking a little rock out from side to side. Nice work. We're grabbing the back of our legs now, rolling on up. We should be feeling nice and warm now. I want you to flip on round. So we're gonna start to warm up through those glutes now. So your right forearm's gonna find the mat, team. Knees are under the line of our hips, and we're extending that left leg straight back behind us. Beautiful. Can you tap it behind to that right hand side before it rainbows up and over to our left? Beautiful. So we're just working these straight leg rainbows. Beautiful. Just taking the first few reps to settle into this movement, wanting to keep those hips nice and square down towards the mat, minimizing as much rocking as we can. Lovely. Just 2 more before we change this movement pattern up. Nice. Last one like this. Okay, we're all gonna sweep that leg behind us and hold. It's drawing in, foot stays flexed. We're inhaling, and as you exhale, we're lifting up to find a hydrant. Inhale to return down. So exhaling as we lift, and then lowering. So the foot should stay nice and flexed here, team. We're thinking about lifting that left knee, opening it out to the side here. I want you to feel like we're squeezing your glutes together at the top, getting that nice pinch before we lower back down. Nice. So both glutes should be working, but it's really that right supporting glute here that is that working glute. So think about wrapping on through that right glute each time we lift that left knee out to the side. Okay, this next time you lift, let's hold. Can we send that leg back behind us, pointing through your toe? We bend as that foot flexes, and then we lower back down. Going again, we lift and add that extension at the top. Awesome work, team. Still pressing that mat away with that right forearm. Your chest is proud. Don't let yourself sink into your shoulders. Beautiful. All right, we've got one final layer. If you want to take it with me today, team, this next time we open, can we extend that leg? Can you add a tap back behind you on the mat? It extends back high before we refine that hydrant and close it on in. Nice. We open, extend, tap back, lift before drawing everything in. Lovely work. Good control here, team. This is not a rush movement. I want you to hit each part of this sequence. Nice work. Okay, we're taking out that respite now. So the next time we draw to your hydrant, holding there, don't close it in. Beautiful. Keeping that knee high, going straight back into that press and toe tap. Beautiful. Just giving me 4 like this. How's that right glute feeling? Here for 3. Nice. Last 2. After this next one, we meet in your hydrant, finishing off this last rep together. Okay, we draw to that hydrant and we hold. We're just pulsing that knee up and up, tiny pulses. Lovely work. Gaze looks just in front of that forearm, keeping our head in line with our spine. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1 we lift, we hold, we extend that back leg out. We're just working presses into our hydrant and back behind you. Beautiful. We bend, and press. Lovely work, keeping that leg high, working that, keeping that foot flexed each time we draw to our hydrant. Here for 5 now, and then a hold, and we are done for 4. Beautiful. 3, 2, nice one. On 1, we extend back behind you, holding there for 3, lifting that leg a little bit higher for 2, and 1, returning down. Hand comes back onto your mat, pressing back to find your downward dog, pedaling out through your legs. Nice work. We're drawing our right foot up to the top of the mat, left foot follows, and we're grabbing both of your dumbbells, rising on up. Dumbbells come to your shoulders. You're on the ball of your left foot, which is stepped just behind that right foot here. Inhale, we're going to step that left foot behind us as we sink to find a lunge. Exhale, we drive up. Beautiful. So inhale, lower. Exhale, press. Nice work, team. So we're working a 90-90 lunge here. So notice how my chest stays relatively upright. I'm not hinging forward. Nice work. We're tapping that back left knee on the mat each time. Give me 3 more, and then we're going to add on. Inhale to lower. Exhale, press. Last one. Okay, this next time, let's lunge, let's hold. We're lifting up through that right heel, planting it back down before we step in. Beautiful. So we lunge, heel lift, and press. Beautiful. Staying low, keeping still each time we find that lift through the heel. We're increasing that time under tension for that right quad and right glute, team. Okay, we're gonna keep adding those layers. So this next time we lunge, can you hold as we take that heel lift? Option to lift those dumbbells up. Everything returns, and we drive. So you're adding that press. Beautiful. You guys are so strong. Finishing off this right hand side strong together. Just giving me 4 more like this. Nice. For 3. Final 2. Last full rep. We meet at the top of your movement. Quick moment if you need to. As a team, let's step back to find our lunge and hold there. We're just working that press and that heel lift. Beautiful. Here for 5. Staying low for 4. 3. 2, nice work. On 1, we press those dumbbells up, heel stays planted, we're pulsing it out. For 5, for 4, nice and slow. For 3, 2, and 1, driving in, dumbbells return down, rolling those shoulders back and down. Beautiful. This time inhaling, we're sinking down to find a single leg squat. Dumbbells, find a low L position. Beautiful. Exhale to drive. Inhale as we squat down and rise on up. So for the single leg squat, I want you to keep as much weight as you can through that front right heel. We're on the ball of that left foot. It's just there to help us stabilize our balance. Nice. Okay, this next time we sink down low, can we hold? We're stepping back to find a glute lunge. Nice, we step back in before we drive up. Beautiful, adding that step back Focusing on staying nice and low and loaded through that right leg. Nice work, team. When you're ready, we can start to add those arms. So we're squatting down, taking that tricep extension as we step back, drawing in and then rising up. Nice work. This is that full layer. Remembering to take rest when you need to. You can tap out through that right glute, but this is its final push. So staying with me. Giving me 3 more reps like this. Lovely. Last 2. Nice work. On this next one, we're all gonna sink down together. We're just working that step back and in. We're ditching that rise. Nice work. Final push for this right hand side. Here for 4, for 3, 2, lovely work. On 1, we're stepping that leg back. Nice work. We're drawing that chest up as our back leg bends, finding that 90-90. Exhale, lengthening through that back leg, chest tilts forward. Just working 90-90 and press to our glute lunge. Beautiful. This is just you for 5 and then some pulses and you are done. Here for 4, staying with me for 3, 2, all right, on 1, we press to that 90-90, holding there, just pulsing it up and down. Tiny movement, team, staying here. Final count now for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Driving on up, rolling out through those shoulders. We can take a forward fold over those legs. Nice work. Your left knee can bend as we just extend that right arm up to the sky, taking that twist. And swapping it on over. Left arm extends up. Nice work. Can give that right glute a little bit of a tap out. And we're coming back to our mat, flipping on over to that other side. Dumbbells can come to that other side of the mat so it's ready and waiting for us. And our left forearm comes down to our mat this time. Right leg extends long. We're starting off with those rainbows. We're tapping that leg back behind us before it rainbows out to the side. Nice. So it taps and rainbows out. Nice. Settling into this movement, taking these first few reps nice and slow, focusing on our form, keeping those hips square towards that mat, keeping that left forearm pressing down and into your mat, so we're staying proud through our chest. Awesome work, team. Just giving me 3 more like this. Nice. Extending that range of that rainbow if you can. Last one. Okay, we're going to draw that leg back behind us and hold. We're drawing it in. This time flexing that right foot as we exhale to find that hydrant. Inhale as we lower. Exhale as we lift that right knee. Nice work. So you might notice that that right glute is already fatigued and tired, team. But I want you to think about really wrapping on through that left glute now. It's the supporting glute and the main working glute. So as we open through that right knee, thinking about squeezing and pinching our glutes together. Beautiful. Okay, this next time we lift, we're adding on. We're gonna extend that leg back behind you. Nice, it draws back in to find your hydrant before we lower that knee. So we lift, take that extension, draw back in before we close. Awesome. So as we lengthen that leg, you're pointing that toe and then making sure you're finding that flex again as we hit that hydrant. Nice work. Just giving me one more full rep before we add on that final layer. Okay, this next time we're lifting, we're extending that leg together before adding that little tap back down. It sweeps back up before we hydrant and close. So you're adding that tap back each time that leg is extended long. Nice, team. Making sure we're not arching through that lower back. You're minimizing all your core from moving. It's just that leg working. Nice work. Sending your mind to that left glute, focusing on that mind to muscle connection here. All right, one more full rep before we take out that respite. This is our last time. We're gonna close that hydrant, team. This next time we open out, we're keeping it high. Nice work. So no longer closing that hydrant, we're just drawing it in before we press it back out. Beautiful. Still moving nice and slowly. Beautiful, team. Just giving me 3 more like this. Here for 2. Last one. We're going to tap that leg back behind us and we're all going to draw forward to meet in that hydrant position and hold. We're just pulsing that right knee up and up. Beautiful. Tiny pulses, squeezing those glutes together at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, on 1 we lift that leg. We're just working that press out and draw back in. Nice. We press and draw in nice and slow. Squeezing that left glute each time we press that right leg back behind you. Here for 4. Here for 3. 2. The last time we bend in. Nice work. We press that right leg out and hold together. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Lowering back down. Left hand refines the mat, pressing out to find that downward dog. Taking our little pedal out, team. Beautiful. This time that left leg is going to step between those arms. Right foot follows. We grab a hold of your dumbbells. Dumbbells come to your shoulders. We're on the ball of that right foot. Hips are squared towards the front of the mat. Inhaling, we're stepping back to find that 90-90. And driving on up. Beautiful. Inhale to step. Exhale to lift. Nice work, team. So we're keeping those hips squared towards the front of the mat. Think about nudging that left glute back ever so slightly. Nice. Chest is upright. Shoulders are rolled back and down here. Okay. Give me 3 more before we add on. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press. Final rep before we add that heel lift. So this next time we lunge, you're holding there. We're lifting that front left heel. Lowers back down before we find that lift. So increasing that time under tension, team. Nice work. Adding that time that we need to be hanging out at the bottom of this lunge. Beautiful. Nice work. 1 more full rep before we add on our arms. Okay, this next time we're lunging, you're taking that press with that heel raise. Everything lowers, and then we drive up. Nice work. Beautiful. Lovely work. Still challenging that range of that lunge, team, making sure you're sinking all the way back. Nice work. If you need to take a moment to tap that left glute out, just join back in whenever you feel ready. Nice work. Otherwise, you're staying with me. Just give me 2 more full reps like this. Last full rep here. All right, we're driving on up as a team. We're sinking back to find that 90-90. Just working that heel lift and press, holding low. This is you for 5. Exhale to press, inhale to lower. For 3 now. Last 2. On 1, you lift those dumbbells, heel stays planted, pulsing it out. Up and down, staying low. I know you can. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and on 1, we're driving on up. Nice work. Dumbbells come down. Right foot steps behind. We're still on the ball of that foot. Shoulders rolled back and down. Inhaling, we're sinking down low. Arms bend to find an L, and then exhale to press. Beautiful. Inhale as we squat, and then driving on up. So we're getting straight into the single leg squat series, team. We're finishing off this left side strong together. You guys are so nearly there for today's class. Nice work. We're keeping as much pressure as we can through that front left heel. That right foot is just there to stabilize us. Okay, this next time we sink low, let's hold. We're stepping that back leg behind you. Steps back in. We drive on up. Adding that step back. Beautiful. Nice work. All right, you're just gonna give me 3 more like this before we add that tricep extension at the bottom. Nice work. Your chest should be tilted forward at that 45-degree angle, team, at that bottom of that squat. All right, we're adding that tricep extension now. We sink down low. Send those dumbbells back behind you as we take that leg extension. Nice work. Giving those triceps a good big squeeze each time we send them behind you. Nice work. Giving me your final 3 full reps. Making them as controlled as you can. Last full repetition here. All right. As a team, we're sinking down, holding at the bottom. We're just staying low, working that step back and tricep extension. Nice work. We're going down the final rabbit hole for this left-hand side. You guys have got it. Giving me 5 more like this. Giving me 4, 3, nice, 2. On 1, we step that leg back, you hold. We're bending through that back knee. Dumbbells come to your shoulders. And then we lengthen back out as dumbbells send behind you. Nice. So we go from a 90-90 into that glute lunge. Just here for our final 5. Then some pulses and you guys are done. Beautiful. Here for 4, 3. Straightening that back leg as we dive our chest forward. For 2, all right, on 1, you refine your 90-90. We're pulsing up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. Lovely work. Final count now for 5. Lengthening out that pulse if you can. For 4, 3, 2, and on 1, we drive everything up, ditching those dumbbells, taking that forward fold over your legs. You can nod that chin, yes. Shake it, no. All right, we're just gonna finish off with some stretches if you have time, team. So stepping each leg back, pressing back to find that downward dog. We're just gonna step that left foot outside our left hand, back knee drops, sending your left elbow down to touch that mat before exhaling and twisting out to that sky. Nice, 2 more like this. Tapping that elbow and reaching high. 1 more. All right, your hand's gonna re-find that mat now. Just heel toe that foot in slightly, tucking through our back leg as we straighten out through that front, folding forward, taking that hamstring stretch down the front of that left leg. Nice work, team. Well done on completing our day 2. Let me know how you guys found it in the comments. I'm always keen to hear any sort of thoughts or feedback. I know that I was definitely feeling it by the end of those lunges. All right, this next one, we're drawing that right foot to that right hand side, left knee drops, touching that right elbow down before we take that twist out, lengthening the right hand to the sky. 2 more like this. Beautiful, and last one. All right, we're heel toeing that foot in now, tucking through that back toe, pressing on up as we straighten that leg. Nice work, feeling that hamstring stretch for that right hand side now. And then stepping our back leg in, finding a seated position, anywhere that feels comfortable, flipping around to face me. We're just finishing class, as always, with one last deep inhale breath, filling up those lungs, sweeping those arms nice and high. Gaze can lift, and as we exhale, sign the day away, shaking out, feeling that good energy shift. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today for your day 2 of the Flow Pilates 30-day challenge. As always, my name is Greta, and I will see you lovely people tomorrow for day 3.